The unseen arrival. The night sky over the neutral star system of Valora Prime was calm and silent. The patrol fleet of the Zyran Alliance drifted in formation around the planet, watching trade ships move from port to port. For months, there had been no signs of danger, no pirates, no war, not even rumors of conflict. It was the safest region in this part of the galaxy. The alien patrol crews felt relaxed, almost bored, thinking nothing could disturb their peace. Captain Rivor, commander of the Zyran flagship Alaris, stood at the main viewing deck, his 4 golden eyes half closed. He was ready to end his shift when the alarms suddenly began to scream across the bridge. The calm night turned into chaos within seconds. The ship's scanners picked up an unknown object emerging from deep space, far beyond normal jump routes. The signal was faint, broken, and did not match any known starship design. Rivor straightened his posture and ordered a full scan. The bridge crew rushed to their stations, tapping glowing panels with shaking hands. At first, the scanners failed. They could not detect size, mass, heat, or energy readings. It was like the object was made of nothing. Then, slowly, shapes began to form on the screen. A ship appeared, long and silent, covered in smooth black metal that reflected no light. It moved without waves from engines, without sound, without identifying codes. It looked like a shadow drifting through the void. No one had ever seen a ship like it. Rivor felt fear for the first time in years. His tactical officer whispered that maybe it was a ghost ship, something ancient from lost empires. Another officer suggested it could be a weapon from a dead civilization. But none of those ideas explained why the object moved with perfect precision, heading directly toward Valora Prime as if guided by intelligent control. The ship slowed to a halt just outside sensor range, as if watching them. All communications failed. Rivor sent a peaceful message using every known galactic language. There was no answer. The unknown vessel only floated in space like a silent judge. Many officers felt as if something alive was staring back. Finally, the sensors locked onto a marking on the ship's hull. It was small, almost invisible, written in an ancient language believed to be extinct. English. Rivor looked at the translation on his screen. The characters were unmistakable. Humans. But humanity had vanished from the galaxy hundreds of years ago. Their worlds were found empty, their systems dark, their technology lost. The Council wrote them off as a failed species destroyed by their own wars. Yet here was a ship that should not exist. Rivor ordered one scout vessel to move closer and gather more data. The small fighter approached quietly, sending real-time visuals to the bridge. The alien crew watched with silent terror as the fighter reached 50-kilometer range. Without warning, the scout's systems shut down. Weapons, engines, power, shields, everything died instantly. The fighter drifted through space like a dead rock. There was no explosion, no weapon fired, no visible attack. The unknown ship simply disabled it with an invisible force. The entire bridge froze in shock. The mysterious ship then rotated slowly, like it had noticed the patrol fleet for the first time. A thin blue line of light traced across its hull, activating symbols and lights that looked far beyond known physics. The blue glow spread like veins across metal, revealing sharp angles and hidden structure. It now looked less like a shadow, more like a war machine built for total silence. Then, for the first time, the ship sent a signal. Not a broadcast, not a universal message. A direct communication to Captain Rivor's ship only. The message was not written in any alien language. It was in English. And not just English, an old Terran military dialect lost to history. The transmission appeared as text on the main screen. Stand down. Do not interfere. The entire bridge fell silent. Rivor tried to reply, but before he could send a message, the unknown ship vanished from scanners again. It did not jump, It did not warp, it simply folded out of existence like it was never there. But one thing was now certain. Humanity did not die. Humanity left. And whatever they had become during their disappearance, they were now far beyond the rest of the galaxy. Rivor stared at the empty screen, knowing their peaceful age was ending. If one ship could disable fleets without firing a shot, what could an entire Terran armada do? He whispered to himself, trembling, "We are not ready." And somewhere in dark space, the vanished Terrans continued their silent return. The Terran signal awakens the galaxy. The report of the unknown warship spread through the Zyran Alliance like wildfire. What began as a patrol incident quickly turned into a matter of interstellar security. Within hours, encrypted messages were sent to neighboring powers, and rumors began to travel faster than official reports. Trade routes panicked. Small nations recalled their fleets. Even pirate syndicates vanished from space, afraid of a threat they could not understand. No one believed the rumor at first. A human ship, after centuries of silence? Impossible. But the recording of the message from the vanished vessel leaked. Millions watched the same short line. "Stand down. Do not interfere." It did not sound like a request. It sounded like a rule. The Council responds. The High Galactic Council gathered in their massive floating citadel above the planet Sereth. Leaders from dozens of species filled the chamber, their voices loud and angry. Some demanded immediate action, some demanded peace, and some demanded silence until more was known. Chancellor Vurok, a tall reptilian diplomat, spoke first. "Humans disappeared centuries ago. Their worlds are dead, their people are gone. This must be an imposter." Others disagreed. A historian projected ancient footage of pre-collapse humanity, warships of steel and fire, fleets built in desperation, weapons created for survival against impossible odds. Humanity did not die quietly, the historian warned. They fought until their last breath. If they returned, they evolved. The council chamber fell silent. No one wanted to imagine what a more advanced humanity looked like. Empty sightings. Before the council could vote, new reports arrived. 3 more unknown ships spotted across the outer rim. Each one identical. Black, silent, unscannable, and broadcasting nothing. None attacked. None made demands. They simply appeared, observed, and vanished again. But a pattern formed. The ships always appeared in star systems linked to ancient human migration routes. The same paths humans once used before disappearing. It was not random. It was a map. A dangerous decision. Fear turned to paranoia. The council believed these ships were scouts for an invasion. They assumed humanity had returned to reclaim territory or enslave the galaxy. The vote passed with a narrow majority. Authorize a military response. They formed a united task force, hundreds of warships from 12 alien nations, sent to intercept the next appearance. But they had no location. Until the Terran ship sent another signal. This time it was not a warning. It was a coordinate. A star system long abandoned, once part of early human expansion. A system marked on old charts as Elysian Gate. The council believed it was a trap. They went anyway. The Armada arrives. The United Fleet jumped into Elysian Gate prepared for war. Shields up, weapons charged, fighters deployed. The dead station floated quietly, cold and broken. No signs of life. No Terran ship. Hours passed. Nothing. Some captains suggested retreating. Others believed the humans were observing them from hyperspace. Tension rose like a storm waiting to break. Then, a single distortion rippled across space, like time itself folded inward. A shape emerged from pure darkness, first as a shadow, then as armor,
then as a fully formed ship. The same ship from Valora Prime. But now lights glowed across its hull, like awakened veins. The blue patterns pulsed slowly, rhythmically, almost alive. It now looked less like a shadow, more like a war machine built for total silence. Then, for the first time, the ship sent a signal. Not a broadcast, not a universal message. A direct communication to Captain Ryvor's ship only. The message was not written in any alien language. It was in English, and not just English, an old Terran military dialect lost to history. The transmission appeared as text on the main screen. Stand down. Do not interfere. The entire bridge fell silent. Ryvor tried to reply, but before he could send a message,
where humanity went. The galaxy tried to return to normal after the encounter at Elysian Gate, but normal no longer existed. Every military academy began studying human history again. Old archives, forgotten technology blueprints, abandoned colonies, everything related to Earth became valuable overnight. But no answer was more important than the greatest question of all. If humans did not die, where did they go? The Council assigned their best intelligence teams to search ancient records. Most files were lost or corrupted, but one fragment survived, taken from a classified document written centuries ago by the last human diplomats before their disappearance. It read, "We cannot win here. The threat is extragalactic." The aliens argued among themselves. What threat? Why leave the galaxy? Why return now? No one had answers. Until the Terran ship appeared again, this time over a dead human colony world called Lyra 3. A forgotten graveyard. Lyra 3 was once a thriving human colony, filled with oceans, forests, and giant orbital cities. When humanity vanished, the cities collapsed, machines rusted, and the planet fell silent. Now the Terran ship floated above it, scanning the ruins like someone revisiting an old home. A small alien research vessel approached the planet without authorization. It belonged to the Scientific Guild of the Vaynor, a species known for curiosity rather than war. Their leader, Scholar Tellan, opened a broadcast. "We do not come to fight. We want to understand. Why did your people leave?" For several minutes, nothing happened. Then, from the Terran ship, a thin silver probe descended to the planet's surface. It hovered just above the ruins, projecting holograms, fragments of memory, echoes of history. The galaxy watched in silence as the truth unfolded. Fire, the war that no one knew. The holograms showed old Earth fleets fighting an enemy never recorded in galactic archives. Not insectoid, not reptilian, not mechanical, something else entirely. They looked like shadows made of living gravity, shaped like swirling storms of dark matter. They consumed stars, bent planets, turned entire systems into silent voids. This enemy was not from the Milky Way. They came from outside. The holograms showed humanity losing system after system, not to weapons, but to reality collapsing behind them. The last message from ancient Earth commanders filled the sky. "We are leaving the galaxy to stop them at the source. Do not follow." The holograms faded. The ruins fell silent again. Humanity had not fled. Humanity had volunteered to fight alone. They left to protect the galaxy. And somehow, after centuries, they survived. Alarm, the message everyone feared. Scholar Tellan sent one final question. Are the invaders coming back? For a long time, there was no answer. The silence felt like pressure. Then the Terran ship spoke, not with calm authority, but with something that sounded almost like regret. "The barrier is breaking." The galaxy froze. "Will humans defend the galaxy again?" Tellan asked. The reply was dark and cold. "We did not return to defend you. We returned to evacuate what can be saved." The broadcast ended. Alarm, a terrifying revelation.
As the Terran ship prepared to leave orbit, dozens of small star-shaped objects appeared around Lyra 3, unmanned Terran machines deploying across the system. They began forming massive energy grids, silent and precise. The aliens thought these were weapons. They were wrong. They were beacons, markers for a navigation path, like lights guiding a fleet. A massive fleet. One alien officer whispered, "Are they preparing an exodus?" No one on the planet had time to think further. Space distorted above them, and the Terran ship vanished once more, heading deeper into the galaxy. But this time, it did not leave alone. A huge shadow appeared in the distortion behind it, another ship, 10 times larger, shaped like a moving fortress. Then another, and another, each with black hulls and blue scars of energy running across their armor. Not one ship, not a scout, a returning armada. Massive rumors spread like fire. Across the galaxy, citizens panicked. Some species prepared to ally with humans, hoping to be protected. Others armed themselves, believing humans would conquer them. Some even planned to flee to dark space. But no one knew the real truth. Final line of the part. Humanity had not come back to rule the galaxy. Humanity had come back because something far worse was already following them. The silent ultimatum. The return of the Terran Armada shook every star nation in the galaxy. News channels played the footage endlessly. Giant black warships emerging from folds in space like silent titans. Some believed humanity came as saviors. Others believed they were conquerors. But the truth was darker. Humanity was preparing for a war the galaxy could not even imagine. Still, fear turned into hostility. Many species refused to trust the Terrans. They remembered humanity's old reputation: aggressive, unpredictable, impossible to control. Old grudges resurfaced, old warnings replayed across political halls. And in that fear, the galaxy made a fatal choice. They prepared to confront the humans directly. The Galactic War Council is formed. 12 major civilizations united under a single command. Battleships filled orbital shipyards. Fleets trained non-stop. Scientists worked day and night to create shields that could resist Terran technology. They believed they were preparing for defense. But their generals whispered another plan: a preemptive strike. Some leaders argued humanity should be studied. Others believed they should be destroyed before their power spread. Admiral Kethar, who had witnessed the Terran ship firsthand, tried to warn them. "They defeated us without firing. You are planning war against a storm. We do not even know what their weapons are." But no one listened. Politicians demanded action. Fear drowned logic. Warships began to gather in the border systems closest to Terran movements. Gale, humanity breaks its silence. Instead of hiding, the Terrans broadcast a galaxy-wide transmission. Every screen, every hologram, every communication relay lit up with a single image. An armored Terran figure standing in darkness, face hidden behind a metallic mask. The voice that spoke was not angry. It was calm, almost emotionless. "Do not mobilize fleets. Do not pursue. Do not interfere." The message continued, slow and unmistakably final. "We are building an escape corridor. When the enemy arrives, only those inside will survive." Every species reacted with shock. An escape corridor? Survive what? Why only some? Then came the part that ignited rage across the galaxy. "We cannot save all of you." Civilizations felt insulted, abandoned, judged. They believed humanity had returned not as protectors, but as gods, choosing who lived and who died. This time, the galaxy responded with fury. Alarm, the first shot. The Zelth Dominion fired the opening strike. Their fleet of stealth cruisers launched a barrage of antimatter torpedoes at a small Terran outpost constructing a beacon gate. The explosion tore through space, lighting the sky with burning plasma. The alien crews celebrated. Their victory lasted 8 seconds. The space around them bent inward, like reality inhaled. Then a Terran vessel, small, needle-shaped, silent, appeared behind them, without a jump signature, without heat. One pulse of blue light spread like a ripple across the battlefield. Every Zelth ship powered down instantly. Their ships drifted like empty shells. Not destroyed, not damaged, just erased from control, as if they never existed as machines. The Terran vessel spoke only 2 words. Final warning. Then it vanished. Alarm, the galaxy refuses to stand down. Instead of surrendering, more fleets joined the uprising. They saw humanity's power not as protection, but tyranny. Millions of soldiers prepared for war. Propaganda spread. If humans escape alone, the rest of us will die. Fear united species the way hope never could. The Council launched Operation Eclipse, a coordinated strike meant to surround and disable Terran forces before they could finish their corridor. Admiral Kethar watched the fleets depart and whispered, "We are marching toward extinction. Not theirs, ours." Rocket, the confrontation at the Shattered Belt. The largest fleet in galactic history gathered in the Shattered Belt, a region of broken planets and ancient debris. They waited for humanity's armada to appear. Hours passed. Silence. Then the stars themselves seemed to lose focus. A shadow stretched across space, so vast that planets dimmed under its presence. It was not a ship. It was something behind the fabric.
The battlefield fell silent. Alien fleets floated in formation, weapons charged, ready to fire, but no one gave the order. The Terran Armada surrounded them like silent guardians, engines dark, holes glowing with soft blue patterns pulsing like heartbeats. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy realized it was not the center of existence. It was just one small light surrounded by a universe full of darkness. A deep, rhythmic vibration echoed through space as the rift widened. The creatures beyond pressed harder. Shapes of collapsing gravity, swirling void matter, long tendrils of dark energy that twisted like cosmic storms. Entire stars flickered inside their bodies. They were not just invaders. They were predators of galaxies. And they had followed humanity home. The choice no one wanted. The Terran flagship moved forward, a massive fortress-sized vessel unlike the smaller scouts. Its surface shifted like liquid metal, shaped by technology far beyond physics. A final broadcast echoed from it, projected across every ship. "We cannot defeat them. We can only slow them." The Council commander shouted back, "Why not unite with us? Why not fight together?" The Terran voice answered softly, "You think this is a war. This is extinction." Silence spread across the comm channels. Humanity had tried to stop the creatures at the edge of the universe. They failed. But they bought time. Now they returned to prepare an escape path through space-time before reality itself collapsed. The Armada activated massive energy structures around the belt, towers of floating metal forming a ring. Blue arcs connected between them like lightning, shaping a colossal portal across the star system. The corridor was opening, a path to somewhere else. Another galaxy, another dimension, another chance. The first strike from beyond. The rift exploded outward. A wave of gravitational distortion hit every ship. Shields cracked, smaller cruisers shattered like glass. Dozens of alien vessels were crushed instantly into compressed metal. Then the first creature stepped fully into physical space. A living abyss with a core shaped like a black star. The Terran fleet moved as one, activating weapons that did not fire lasers or missiles. They bent reality. Beams of pure space-time curvature sliced through the creature, slowing its shape, forcing it into a frozen ripple. It screamed, soundless, but felt in every mind. Humanity had weapons designed not to kill flesh, but to kill physics. But even those could not stop the creature forever. The Terran commander broadcast, "Evacuate through the corridor now."
Alien fleets hesitated. Pride, fear, mistrust. Why should they follow humans? Why should they abandon everything? Why trust the species that vanished? But then the impossible happened. A second creature arrived, then a third. The stars dimmed as the sky filled with shadows. Admiral Kethar finally understood the truth. He ordered his fleet forward. We go through the corridor. This is not humanity's war. It is everyone's. One by one, alien armadas aligned their engines and moved toward the portal. Somewhat willingly. Some resisted. Some broke into panic. Others refused to leave their homes. Entire civilizations chose to stay behind, believing they could negotiate or survive. They never sent messages again. The last stand of Earth. As the evacuation continued, Terran ships stayed behind, not fleeing but forming a wall between the rift and the escaping fleets. Their hulls glowed brighter, patterns burning white, overloading power cores. They were sacrificing themselves to hold the line. Scholar Tellen watched from her evac ship, tears in her eyes. These humans, they are not conquerors, they are the shield. The final Terran broadcast echoed across the universe. Run, remember, and do not repeat our mistakes. Then, as the last ships crossed the portal, the rift surged. Entire Terran dreadnoughts were swallowed by the cosmic storm. Beams of distorted matter tore through hulls. Ships detonated one by one. Yet they did not break formation. They held the line until the corridor collapsed behind the refugees. When the light faded, the Terran fleet was gone. The creatures were sealed, at least for now. And the galaxy was silent. In a new star system far beyond known space, alien survivors watched a young star rise over an untouched world. Hundreds of fleets hovered above it. No governments, no borders, only refugees rebuilding. On the horizon of space, a single Terran beacon activated, sending a message across the new galaxy. Humanity endures. We are already here. A small scout ship appeared, black and silent just like before. Humanity survived the sacrifice, and now they were waiting. Not as rulers, not as gods, but as the first civilization to know what was coming next.